What's up? My name is Sergei Mrjevsky. I'm currently at the Museum of Natural History in Budapest, and this is a place where I've been working for the past year, making the skeletons of panther cats, and that has been a complement to my metalwork and my art. But the video you're about to see is pretty much about the breakthroughs and the current movements and the current projects that I'm working on and I'm very excited about and I'm very excited to share. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy and I hope you guys like this video. I am Sergey. Some of you guys have seen me before, and the presentation is very similar. I'll go through quickly what I've already showed you before, and then I'll get into what I did this year. So I am a zoologist, skull collector, paleontology artist, a metal sculptor. Ever since I was very small, animals have been my truth, my fascination, my root. And throughout my career in America, when I was a student in high school and in university, I did a lot of classes, I took a lot of education, but I sought to educate myself in the ways and the science and the language of bones and skulls in particular. So I spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money, let's be honest, into collecting, assembling a group of animals, the carnivores. I collected their skulls and then later sought to make their bones. This is a lynx, gray fox, bobcat, and then coyote. Understood skeletons.
It's a white cat.
It's a white cat. Understand skeletons, understood anatomy, and then I drew these animals, and then later I needed to make them. I needed them to be not just the skull, not just the drawing, but here. And the silliest and most difficult, but also the most available way for me to make these structures was to use metal sculpture techniques. Making bones, making measurements, trying to make metal, this tough, annoying character material, bend and become organic, alive, and accurate to the science. And this was my path in America. And it culminated at my graduation work and project in this restoration between two mega epics, super carnivores in California that lived together, the saber-toothed cat and the lion. And these were real animals that had ecological roles and an evolutionary path that we can understand. Pictures of the gallery of my graduation work before I came to Budapest. And so last year in February I came here, and the first place that I came to when I came to Budapest was the Museum of Natural History. And so that is about the place where I met you guys, and I was starting to make the chimpanzee, but also I got started making this cat. And there it is. This was around the time where I went back to university, but it ended up not being something that I desired, I felt fire for. I decided to fully invest my time into this resource the Natural History Museum had. And specifically, the resource that I was given was the skeletons of the big cats. Finally, I had access to the prime resource. I had the source, the real bones, and the ability to understand them and to learn how to make them look right. May, June, July, in August, I focused all my energy, made a lot of mistakes, but this is the final product. So this project was a very deep transformation for me because I finally got to and understood certain things about how skeletons work, about how to put them together, and how to use this skill in order to promote the understanding of wildlife and the way it's made, understanding its role on the landscape, but also understanding our connection and our similarity through bones, through breath, through our common anatomy. And in August came a time where, I'm sure you guys are aware, the Amazon started to burn. And everybody started to think about it, and everybody started to hear about it. And I felt it. I knew, I couldn't pretend that I was not connected to that event. I was working with the apex predator of that ecosystem, and that ecosystem was being destroyed, and now we're kind of in the context. And so here was added another element of the exhibition pieces. It would be the skeleton to show and underline the anatomy, but also the head, the reconstructed face that we can see and interact with and see and be in the presence of. And so the Jaguar took a lot of time, it took a lot of mistakes, but there was also another project that had that was in the works and became available to me for learning. In the same room, there was also a snow leopard skeleton. And so I was seeking to make anatomy and skeletons accurate to try to make them look like the natural way they should be, and this was not of that same intention. And then this is to get the position, the position of the muscles, the position of the bones, and then I got to making it.
And you said, but when you were, you were fast.
Yeah. And so this is it.
You said that's the way you get very fast.
Yeah. I discovered the spine, and specifically the thoracic spine, its movement, its correctness, and in a weird way, I've understood how my bones and my spine works. And my ability to, and I am now able to figure out the correct positioning and understand how my own body moves and how it relates and how it could be used to understand and better make actual skeletons. I got a Jaguar, this summer I got a Jaguar, a Jaguar, a snow leopard, and a tiger. And not just any tiger, the Javan tiger. The tiger that is, there is no more tigers like this, right? It's closely genetically it's closely to the Sumatran tiger, just like Caspian tigers and Siberian tigers. But that ecosystem does not have its apex predator. There we have it. So, form without the stripes. There was a scientific paper where they described a tiger's skeleton. I resized the bones. But that is another step to the process that I've added, was drawing the skeleton, like figuring it out, the bones and the position. In that process, I've learned a lot about, because the tiger, I want to make it moving. Adam really pointed out some of my drawings that they were wrong, the position of the legs, the movement, and the precision. And that leads me to where it is right now. It's on my computer. It is now this position, it is drawn, and that is going to be, and that is probably how it's going to be mounted. I figured that cats would be better displayed at eye level, coming towards you, and that would be a much better way to exhibit these animals and make them exciting for the viewer. And so, this is my life at the museum. This is what my study is. My goal is to make all those skeletons look not like that bear. But this is great, and I could not be more grateful for the opportunity that I have at the museum. But for me, it's always been and always has been about these things. Those are the ones that make me excited. Those are the ones that make me want to tell you guys about it. Those are the ones that honestly make me scared, because they are truly awful. And they are the creatures with which we have evolved. And so, that is the journey, the path that I have begun here in making the saber-tooth that we have here. And when I came here last time, this is what I left with. This was where I left off. It's a primitive saber-tooth cat. It's a small, basal beginning. This is an illustration from a paleo artist called Mauricio Anton. He studied the skeleton alive. He studied the skeleton in situ at the source. So this is the drawing, the representation, it allows me to have proportions, it allows me to have a rough idea of the proportions in the animal, but then I make it my own. I move the bones around, and then I complete the skeletons. And so, bones, positioning, again, it's the same process. And then you infer the fur, and this is the sort of evolutionary tree that they have. This one here is the first one. Promegantereon in Europe, Asia, becomes Megantereon in Asia and Africa. And this one keeps moving to America, turns into Smilodon gracilis, small Smilodon. And then this one becomes Smilodon fatalis in North America and Smilodon populator in South America. This one was a cat that weighed about 500 kilos.